As a cuber, all you want to do is just get faster and faster and faster and just break your records all the time. But you might struggle with this, and a lot of people do. You're not alone. Here are 5 bad habits that you are doing that is making you a worse cuber, and here's how to fix them. First off, we have bad finger tricks that you just don't fix. Take, for example, this PLL case, the R. That's pretty slow when it can be done like this. Now, what did I do differently? Well, I fixed some finger tricks, particularly my U2s like this. I would do them like this, and now I do them like this. They are much faster. First arm slowly. Versus the second one. You notice the difference? There are many cases where we do bad finger tricks. Another example is the T-perm. I used to do it like this, and now I do it like this. You notice the difference? The first one I had from this grip so that I could do this finger trick fast, but now I have to regrip again and come down and regrip again and do the last trick. But with a better method, or a better finger trick, is I can hold it from home position. Now I can almost pinch this corner when I turn it so I can go do this next turn and then come down, and without re-gripping do the next turn and use my thumb so I never have to re-grip, and it's much faster. The second bad habit is rushing the last move. In this case, I have to finish the solve with a J-perm and a U move, and I might just go like that and mess it up. A lot of times when I mess up, it occurs when I am paying attention to my timer and I see, oh, it's at 9.2 or so, and I'm rushing to try to get a sub 10, whereas I can't really get a sub 10 with that amount of time left, but I rush anyway and I end up messing up and getting a 13 with the +2. So how to fix this is just make sure you're mindful of this. So this last move will be a U prime. So you do the algorithm and a U prime, and that was fine. I did it pretty quickly because I was not rushing, I was just making sure it happened. And a good thing about this is that if you make a mistake like this, you can always fix it before you hit the timer, whereas if you're rushing and you don't even think and you just hit the timer immediately, you might end up with a DNF. This leads us to our third bad habit, which is very similar to the second one, but it's watching your timer as you solve. There are a couple reasons why this is bad. If you're looking at the timer, you're not looking at the cube, and that even if you're doing, say, an FQL pair that you can do without looking, well, you're taking away from potential look ahead, and it can be distracting and get your mind off of the solve itself, which will slow you down. Like I said in the earlier one, say you have just one more and you say 9.2 seconds on your clock and you're trying to get a sub 10, you do the algorithm faster than you know you can, and you either lock up or you mess up the last move and you don't get your goal. The best way to get your goal is to accept that that solve wasn't it and you need a better solve. Looking at your timer as you solve can be very hazardous. It can slow you down, it can mess up your solves, it can DNF your solve. Just be very careful of this. The clock is not supposed to affect how fast your solve is, it's simply to tell you how fast your solve is. Turning at full speed versus turning at a controllable speed. People will just try to turn as fast as they can, and they'll make so many mistakes. So I'm going to do 2 solves real quick to compare the two. I'm going to do one with just turning as fast as I can, and the next one will be calm and relaxed and solid and clean. That was a 15-15, which is not a good solve for me. That is in fact a bad solve, and if you paid attention to that solve, I had so many lockups because my execution just wasn't clean. I was turning faster than I can turn. Now I'm going to do a solve that is just chill and just making sure I have solid execution. Look at that difference. That was a 10-28 versus a 15 earlier. See how much smoother that was with way less mistakes in my execution, and it happened to be a faster solve. This doesn't mean that you need to turn slowly. You still need to turn fast or you won't solve it as fast, but you need to balance it out and find what works best for you. Now, the fifth and final and probably most important bad habit has nothing to do with the solve itself, but how you practice. Most people practice incorrectly. You've heard it said that practice is simply repetition of something. Do something a million times and you'll be able to do it better than when you started, which is true, but that's not the best way for this. It will definitely improve you, but not as much as you could. There's a lot of potential that you are not getting. In my opinion, the best way to practice, and this has been said by more than just me, Timon Koleshinsky said it himself, the ex-world record holder, and I have done tests of this to prove that it is effective. I will practice not just full solves, but just the general splits of the solve. As a CFOP solver, I solve my cross, then F2L, then OLL, then PLL. How I practice is I will use CS Timer to generate special scrambles where the cross is already solved, and I will practice by solving just the F2L. So I will practice my splits doing just the F2L step, and I'll do that 100 or so times. And then I will practice my splits doing just the OLL step, doing this, doing a scramble that will give me say a different OLL, and you just keep practicing all of your OLLs for 100 or so solves, and then you can practice the PLL step. You can also use CS Timer to get random scrambles that will give you random PLLs, so you can just be practicing the PLL step. And if you practice your splits individually, then you will improve much faster. This has been proven. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me if it was helpful in the comments, or if there's anything else you want me to go over in potentially a future video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.